my name is Deanne. This is Deanne's Treasure Studio, where I read gaming content not available on Audible. So gather round, friends, to hear free reading 2024 Chapter 7, Spell Descriptions. Summons to Z. Hopefully. Summon Undead. Level 3 Necromancy. Warlock Wizard. Casting time, action, range 90 feet. Components VSM. A gilded skull worth 300 plus skull pieces. Duration, concentration up to 1 hour. You call forth an undead spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range and uses the undead spirit's stat block. When you cast the spell, choose the creature's form. Ghostly, putrid, or skeletal. The spirit resembles an undead creature with the chosen form, which determines certain details on its stat block. The creature disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or when the spell ends. The creature is an ally to you and your allies. In combat, the creature shares your initiative count, but it takes its own turn immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands. No action required by you. If you don't issue any, it takes the dodge action and uses its movement to avoid danger. Using a higher level spell slot, it uses the spell slot's level for the spell level in the stat block. Undead Spirit. Medium. Undead. Neutral. AC 11 plus spells level. Hit points 30 ghastly putrid only or 20 skeleton only plus 10 for each spell level above 3. Speed 30 feet, fly 40 feet, hover ghostly only. Strength 12 plus 1 plus 1, dexterity 16 plus 3 plus 3, constitution 15 plus 2 plus 2, intelligence 4, negative 3, negative 3, wisdom 10, charisma 9, negative 1, negative 1. Immunities: necrotic, poison, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, poison, senses, dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 10. Languages: understands the languages you know. CR none. Experience point 0. PB equals your proficiency bonus. Traits: festering aura, putrid only. Constitution saving throw DC equals your spell save DC. And creatures other than you that starts its turn within 5 foot in emanation or originating from the spirit. Failure: the creature has the poison condition until the start of its next turn. Incorporeal passage, ghostly only. The spirit can move through other creatures and objects as if it were difficult terrain. If it ends its turn inside the object, it is shunted to the nearest unoccupied space and takes 1d10 force damage for every feet traveled. Actions. Multi-attack. The spirit makes a number of attacks equal to half the spell's level rounded down. Deadly touch. Ghostly only. Melee attack roll equals your spell attack modifier. Reach is 5 feet. Hit points 1d8 plus 3 plus the spell's level necrotic damage. And the target has the frightened condition until the end of its next turn. Grave bolt, skeleton only. Ranged attack bonus equals your spell attack modifier. Range 150 feet. Hit is 2d4 plus 3 plus the spell's level necrotic damage. Rotting claw, putrid only. Melee attack roll. Spell equals your spell attack modifier. Reach is 5 feet. Hit is 1d6 plus 3 plus the spell's level slashing damage. If the target has the poison condition, it has the paralyzed condition until the end of its next turn. Sunbeam. Level 6 evocation, cleric, druid, sorcerer, wizard. Casting time, action, Range self. Components VSM. A magnifying glass. Duration. Concentration up to 1 minute. You launch a sunbeam in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Each creature in the line makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 68 radiant damage and has the blinded condition until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage only during the spell. Until the spell ends, you take a magic action to create a new line of radiance for the duration. A mote of brilliant radiance shines above you. It sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light in additional 30-foot. So 30-foot radius and additional 30-foot. This light is sunlight. Sunburst. Level 8. Evocation. Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Wizard. Casting time. Action. Range 150 feet. Components VSM. A piece of sunstone. Duration. Instantaneous. Brilliant sunlight flashes in a 60-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range. Each creature in the sphere makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 12d6 radiant damage and has the blinded condition for 1 minute. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage only. A creature blinded by this spell makes another Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a successive spell. The spell dispels darkness in its area that was created by the spell. Good to know. Swift Quiver, level 5, Transmutation Ranger. Casting time, bonus action, range self, components VSM, a quiver worth 1 plus gold pieces. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. When you cast the spell, and as a bonus action until it ends, you can make 2 attacks with a weapon that fires arrows or bolts, such as a longbow or a light crossbow. The spell magically creates the ammunition needed for the attack. Each arrow or bolt created by the spell deals like the non-magical piece of ammunition of the kind and disintegrates immediately after it hits or misses. Symbol. Level 7. Abjuration. Bard, Cleric, Druid, Wizard. Casting time, 1 minute. Range self. Components VSM. Powdered diamond worth 1,000 plus gold pieces, which the spell consumes. It's hungry. Duration until dispelled or triggered. You inscribe a harmful glyph either on a surface, such as a section of floor or wall, or within an object that can be closed, such as a book or chest. The glyph can cover an area no larger than 10 feet in diameter. If you choose an object, it must remain in place. If it is removed more than 10 feet from where you cast the spell, the glyph is broken, and the spell ends without being triggered. The glyph is nearly imperceptible. The glyph is nearly imperceptible and requires a successful wisdom perception check against your spell save DC to notice. When you inscribe the glyph, you set a trigger and choose which effect the symbol bears: death, discord, fear, pain, sleep, or stunned. Each one is explained below. Set the trigger. You decide what triggers the glyph when you cast the spell. For the glyphs inscribed on the surface, common triggers include touching or stepping on the glyph, removing another object covering it, or approaching within a certain distance from it. For glyphs inscribed within an object, common triggers include opening the object or seeing the glyph. You can refine the trigger so that only creatures of certain types activate it. For example, the glyph could be set to affect aberrations, You can also set conditions for creatures that don't trigger the glyph, such as those who say a certain password. Once triggered, the glyphs glow, filling a 60-foot radius sphere with dim light for 10 minutes, after which the time spell ends. Each creature within the sphere, when the glyph activates, is triggered by its effect, as is a creature that enters the sphere for the first time on a turn or ends its turn in there. A creature is targeted only once per turn. Death. Each target makes a Constitution saving throw, takes 10d10 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Discord. Each target makes a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target argues with another creature for 1 minute. During this time, it is incapable of meaningful communication and has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Fear. Each target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or have the frightened condition for 1 minute. While frightened, the target must move at least 30 feet away from the glyph on each of its turns if able. Pain. Each target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or have the incapacitated condition for 1 minute. Sleep. Each target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or have the unconscious condition for 10 minutes. A creature awakens if it takes damage or if someone takes an action to shake it awake. Stunning. Each target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or have the stun condition for 1 minute. Synaptic Static, level 5. Enchantment, Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. Casting time, action. Range, 120 feet. Components, VS. Duration, instantaneous. You cause psychic energy to erupt at a point within range. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point makes an intelligence saving throw, taking 8d6 psychic damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. On a failed save, a target also has the muddled thoughts for 1 minute. During that time, it subtracts 1d6 from all its attack rolls and ability checks, and as well as any other Constitution saving throws. To maintain concentration, the target takes an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turn, ending the effect on a successful save. Spell T. For our first runner-up is Tasha's Bubbling Cauldron. Level 6 Conjuration Warlock Wizard. Casting time, action, range 5 feet. Components VSM. A gilded ladle worth 500 plus gold pieces. Duration 10 minutes. You conjure a claw-footed cauldron filled with bubbling liquid. The cauldron appears in an unoccupied space on the ground within 5 feet of you and lasts for the duration. The cauldron can't be moved and disappears when the spell ends, along with the bubbling liquid inside. The liquid in the cauldron duplicates the properties of a common or uncommon potion of your choice, such as a potion of healing. As a bonus action, you or an ally can reach into the cauldron and withdraw one potion of that kind. The potion is contained in a vial that disappears when the potion is consumed. The cauldron can produce a number of these potions equal to your spellcasting ability. Modifier minimum 1. When the last of the potions is withdrawn from the cauldron disappears and the spell ends. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Level 1 Enchantment Bard Warlock Wizard. Casting top action. Range 30 feet. Components VSM. A tart and a feather. Duration concentration up to 1 minute. One creature of your choice that you can see within range makes a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it has the prone and incapacitated condition for the duration. During that time, it laughs uncontrollably or it's incapable of laughter, and it can't end the prone condition on itself. At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, it makes another wisdom save. The target has advantage on the save if it is targeted by damage. On a successful saving throw, the spell ends. Using a higher level spell slot, you can target one additional creature for each spell slot above 1. Telekinesis, level 5, Transmutation, Sorcerer Wizard, casting time, action, range 60 feet, components vs duration, concentration up to 10 minutes. You gain the ability to move or manipulate creatures or objects by thought. When you cast a spell, and as a magic action on your later turns before the spell ends, you can exert your will on one creature or object that you can see within range, causing the appropriate effect below. You can affect the same target round after round or choosing a new one at any time. If you switch targets, the prior target is no longer affected by the spell. Creature. You can try to move a huge or smaller creature. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or move up to 30 feet in any direction within the spell's range. Until the end of your next turn, the creature has the restrained condition, and if you lift it into the air, it is suspended there. It falls at the end of your next turn unless you use this option on it again and it fails the save. Object. You can try to move a huge or smaller object. If the object isn't being worn or carried, you automatically move it up to 30 feet in any direction within the spell's range. If the object is worn or carried by a creature, that creature must succeed on a strength saving throw, or you pull the object away and move it up to 30 feet in any direction within the spell's range. You can exert fine control on objects with your telekinetic grip, such as manipulating a simple tool, opening a door or container, stowing or retrieving an item from an open container, or pouring the contents from a vial. Moving on to telepathy, level 8, Divination Wizard, casting time, action, range unlimited. Components VSM, a pair of linked silver rings, duration 24 hours. You create a telepathic link between yourself and a willing creature with which you are familiar. The creature can be anywhere on the same plane of existence as you. The spell ends if you or the target are no longer on the same plane. Until the spell ends, you and the target can instantly share words, images, sounds, and other sensory messages with each other through the link, and the target recognizes you as the creature it is communicating with. This spell enables a creature to understand the meaning of your words and any sensory messages you send it. Teleport, level 7, Conjuration, Bard, Sorcerer, Wizard, casting time, action, range 10 feet, components fee, duration instantaneous. This spell instantly transports you up to 8 willing creatures that you can see within range, or a single object that you can see within range, to a destination you select. If you target an object, it must be large or smaller, and it can't be held or carried by an unwilling creature. The destination you choose must be known to you, and it must be on the same plane of existence as you. Your familiarity with the destination determines whether you arrive there successfully. The DM rolls 1d100 and consults the teleportation outcome table and the explanations after it. Teleportation outcome. Familiarity. Here are the meanings in the terms in the table's familiarity column. Permanent circle means a permanent teleportation circle whose sigil sequence you know. Linked object means you possess an object taken from the desired destination within the last 6 months, such as a book from a wizard's library. Very familiar is a place you have visited often, a place you have carefully studied, or a place you can see when you cast the spell. Seen casually as is a place that you have seen more than once, but which you aren't very familiar. Viewed once or described is a place that you have seen once, possibly using magic, or a place you know through someone else's description, perhaps from a map. False destination is a place that doesn't exist. Perhaps you have tried to scry on an enemy's sanctum, but instead viewed an illusion. Or you are attempting to teleport to a location that no longer exists. Mishap. A spell's unpredictable magic results in a difficult journey, such as each teleporting creature or the target object takes 3d10 force damage, and the DM rolls on the table to see where you wind up. Multiple mishaps can occur, dealing damage each time. Similar area. You and your group, or the target object, appear in a different area that's visually or thematically similar to the target area. You appear in the closest similar place. If you are heading for your home laboratory, for example, you might appear in another person's laboratory in the same city. Off target. You and your group or the target object appears 2d12 miles away from the destination in a random direction. Roll 1d8 for the direction. 1 is east, 2 southeast, 3 south, 4 southwest, 5 west, 6 northwest, 7 north, or 8 northeast. On target. You and your group or the target object appear where you intended. Teleportation circle. Level 5. Conjuration. Bard, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time 1 minute. Range 10 feet. Components VM. Rare inks worth 500 plus gold pieces, which the spell consumes. Duration 1 round. As you cast the spell, you draw a 5-foot radius circle on the ground inscribed with sigils that link your location to a permanent teleportation circle of your choice, whose sigil sequence you know, and that is on the same plane of existence as you. A shimmering portal opens within the circle you drew and remains open until the end of your next turn. Any creature enters the portal instantly appears within 5 feet of the destined circle or the nearest unoccupied space, if the space is occupied. Many major temples, guild halls, and other important places have permanent teleportation circles. Each circle includes a unique sigil sequence, a string of runes arranged in a particular pattern. When you first gain the ability to cast the spell, you learn the sigil sequence of 2 destinations on the material plane, determined by the DM. You might learn additional sigil sequences, during your adventures. You can commit new sigil sequence to memory after studying it for 1 minute. You can create a permanent teleport circle by casting the spell in the same location every day for 365 days. Tensor's Floating Disc, Level 1 Conjuration Wizard. Casting time, action, or ritual. Range 30 feet, components VSM, a drop of mercury. Duration 1 hour. This spell creates a circular horizontal plane of force, 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick. That floats 3 feet above the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The disc remains for the duration. You can hold up to 500 pounds. If more weight is placed on it, the spell ends, and everything on the disc falls to the ground. The disc is immobile while you are within 20 feet of it. If you move more than 20 feet away from it, the disc follows you so that it remains within 20 feet of you. It can move across uneven terrain up and down stairs, slopes, and the like, but it can't cross an elevation change of 10 feet or more. For example, if the disc can't move across a 10-foot deep pit, or could it leave such a pit if it was created at the bottom? If you move more than 100 feet from the disc, typically because it can't move around the obstacle to follow you, the spell ends. Thaumaturgy. Transmutation, cantrip, cleric. Casting time, action, components fee, duration up to 1 minute. You manifest a minor wonder within range. You create one of the effects below within range. If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its 1-minute effects active at a time. Altered eyes. You alter the appearance of your eyes up to 1 minute. Booming voice. Your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. For the duration, you have advantage on charisma, intimidation checks. Fire play. You cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. Fire play. You cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. Invisible hand. You instantly cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. Phantom shroud. You create an instant sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as a rumble of thunder, a cry of a raven, or an ominous whispers. Tremors. You cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute. Thorn whip. Transmutation, cantrip, druid. Casting time, action, range 30 feet. Components VSM. The stem of a thorny plant. Duration instantaneous. You create a vine-like whip covered with thorns that lashes out at your command towards a creature in range. Make a melee ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage. And if it is larger or smaller, you can pull it up to 10 feet closer to you. Cantrip upgrade. The damage increases by 1d6 when you reach levels 5, 2d6, 11, 3d6, and 17, 4d6. Thunderclap. Evocation. Cantrip, bard, druid, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time is action. Range is self. Components S. Duration instantaneous. Each creature in a 5-foot emanation originating from you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage. The spell's thunderous sound can be heard up to 100 feet away. Cantrip upgrade. The damage increases by 1d6 when you reach levels 5, 2d6, 11,
3d6, and 17, 4d6. Thunderous Smite, level 1. Evocation, Paladin. Casting time, bonus action, which you take immediately after hitting a target with a melee weapon or an unarmed strike. Range, self, components V. Duration, instantaneous. You strike rings with a thunderous that has an audible of 300 feet of you, and the target takes an extra 2d6 thunder damage from the attack. Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed back 10 feet away from you and take the prone condition. Using a higher level spell, the damage increases by 1d6 for each spell slot level above 1. Thunder Wave, level 1, Evocation, Bard, Druid, Sorcerer, Wizard. Casting time, action. Range, self, components, VS. Duration, instantaneous. You unleash a wave of thunderous energy. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed back 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage only. In addition, unsecured objects that are entirely within the cube are pushed back 10 feet away from you, and a thunderous boom is audible up to 300 feet. Using a spell slot level, a higher spell slot level, the damage increases 1d8 for each spell slot level above 1. Time stop. Level 9. Transmutation. Sorcerer Wizard. Casting time, action, range, self, components V. Duration, instantaneous. You briefly stop the flow of time for everyone but yourself. No time passes for other creatures, while you take 1d4 plus 1 turns in a row, during which you can use actions and move as normal. This spell ends if one of the actions you use during this period, or any effects that you create during it, affects a creature other than you, or an object being worn or carried by someone other than you. In addition, the spell ends if you move to a place more than 1,000 feet from the location where you cast the spell. Toll the Dead. Necromancy Cantrip. Cleric, Warlock, Wizard. Casting time, action. Range 60 feet, components VS. Duration instantaneous. You point at one creature you can see within range, and signal a chime of an odorous bell audible within 10 feet of the target. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic damage. Cantrip upgrade, the damage increasing by 1 die when you reach levels 5 2d8 or 2d12, 11 3d8 or 3d12, and 17 48 or 4d12. Tongues, level 3. Divination, Bard, Cleric, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. Casting time, action, range, touch, components, VM. A miniature ziggurat. Duration, 1 hour. The spell grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken or signed language that it hears or sees. Moreover, when the target communicates by speaking or singing, any creature that knows at least one language can understand it, and if that creature can hear the speech or see the singing.
Well, it seems like I've reached my limit. That's it for now. I'm going to change the title to Free Reading, Chapter 2024, Chapter 7, Spell Description S to T. Thank you for your likes and subscription. I trust that you find this useful for whatever your reasons, purposes. Please share with those who can utilize it. And until next time, bye.